Hello, viewers. Welcome back. This is John from Cloud Tech Insights. Today's session will be focusing on AWS Lake Formation. I will be providing some introduction to Lake Formation and then dive deep into how to register a data location, some of the tips and tricks. This is one of the uh, videos that I'm creating regarding Lake Formation and many to be followed. Let's get started. So the lake formation is a tool used on AWS to apply an access control layer on top of AWS Data Lake. When I say AWS Data Lake, the storage is Amazon S3, and based on the user choice, they can opt for open source table formats like Apache Hudi, Apache Iceberg, and Apache Delta. Or in some cases, some customers use governed tables. So lake formation is becoming an essential tool if you're gearing towards data governance. If your data governance is maturing and also want to implement data security, uh, then lake formation has become a very essential tool. It's not just access control layer, it's an abstract layer on top of AWS Glue catalog, providing cataloging capabilities, plus access control layer and many others. And just for everybody's information, lake formation can control both Amazon S3 location access as well as the access to the Glue catalog and the lake formation tables, which means your data is stored in S3, but it's cataloged in Glue, which is inherited by lake formation. And then you can, when you grant access or revoke access, it controls both the table level, row level, as well as the S3 location access. Like I mentioned before, it provides a row and a column level access to the data residing on Amazon S3, which is in compliance with GDPR, CCPA, CPA, and many other regulations. Which means when you have a row level, column level access, which means if you have a PII information on your S3 data lake, then you will be able to pinpoint to that particular record. If you want to delete the data based on the customer request, you can always delete the data at a row level. And if you want to restrict access to certain users, you can always restrict access to a certain columns, certain rows, or even you can go at the data cell level. Like I mentioned before, it's compatible with the open source table formats like Apache Iceberg, Apache Hudi, and Apache Delta. So some of these formats are ACID compliant and help you do operations like insert, upsert, um, and also handle type 1 and type 2 slowly changing dimensions. Let's move on to the demo. So today's demo is mainly focused on data location, registering and creating a database. And this is one of the key part. And there are a few steps some of the users miss and wonder why Lake Formation is not able to handle the S3 access. So in today's demo, we're going to register a Amazon S3 location in Lake Formation and then create a database using that newly created location. And we will talk about some of the ways the service role AWS Lake Formation service load handles the access to both tables as well as the S3 locations. So let's move on to the demo. Get into the demo, I want to make sure that we have access to the lake formation console. Ensure that the user has access to lake formation. And once you ensure that you have access and you're able to see the console, I want to quickly introduce you to the different menu. So there's a catalog menu which has all the information about the databases, tables, filters, data sharing options, etc. Then comes the permissions section where it talks about different permissions based on named resource permissions, LF tag based permissions, data location permissions. So this is an area where all the permissions are handled. We will talk about the hybrid access mode a little later. Then comes the administration. So this is where the admins are handled. There are like lake locations are registered and other application integrations and especially catalog integrations. So again, before we start, I want to make sure some of the housekeeping activities are taken care. So first of all, go to data catalog and ensure that these two boxes are unchecked. um, this means that any new tables that is created in the lake formation can be accessed via IAM access, which means any tables that previously have access using IAM roles or users, they can still access these tables. But our intention is to solely access it by lake formation so that there is no mix and match of access control. So ensure that this is unchecked. The other areas that we have to look into is the uh, lake permissions. So some of the lake permissions still have the IAM allowed principles. So which means anything that is granted access via IAM should be revoked completely. So we revoke the IAM principles from the uh, data lake permission section. Okay, so now let's get started. So this is the section where we can create database on our own. So if you click the create database, you can see an option to put in a name and also provide an S3 bucket. So one thing I would say is the location is mentioned optional, but I would highly recommend using an S3 location here. This would enable Lake Formation to control the access to the database or tables plus the S3 location. Sometimes if you don't configure this location, you will have to give two accesses to the user. One, you have to give the lake formation access. Second is the access to the bucket. So to avoid that, we put in the S3 location when we create the database so that the service role handled by lake formation will be able to add an inline policy to provide an S3 location access. So I will talk about the service role a little later, but let's get started by creating an S3 bucket. So go to the S3 console and create the bucket. Let's call it Lake Formation Cloud Insights. Let's see if this name is available. Okay, there you go. So we have the folder created here. So I'm going to copy the bucket name, go to the Lake Formation console, and this time I'm going to the admin location. Click on data lake location here. Click on the option register location. So you have two options. Either you can put in the bucket information here or you can browse. So I'm going to select the Cloud Insight bucket. And this is the role I'm talking about, AWS Service Role Lake Formation Data Access. So this is the service role that Lake Formation used to access these tables on S3 bucket. And this role will have access. So once I register this location, automatically there will be some options in the IAM role where the lake formation is providing an inline policy to the S3 bucket. I can quickly show you that. So if you look at lake formation, and this is the role we're talking about. So if you look into it, this is the inline policy added by lake formation. So right now there is only one location, which is my previous registered location. But once we register this location, you can see the changes here. So going back to this, I'm going to just check the lake formation access. No hybrid, we'll come to that later. So registering the location. So now the location is registered. So next thing is we go back to the IAM policy. Let's check if there's any change happened here. See, you can see the new location is being added automatically by the service role. So this is the benefits of adding S3 location when you create a database. So moving on to creating a database is Go to the database section, which is under the data catalog, create database, provide a username, let's call it test LF Cloud Insights, and then we can browse for the corresponding location, select the location, uncheck this box, and create the database. So now the database is created. It has the corresponding location. So any tables that is created here and granted access to a certain user, Lake Formation does two things. One is provide the table access. Second is the access to the S3 location. So with this, I'm concluding my demo. I'll be creating some more videos on how to create those tables. We'll talk about some of the hybrid access mode, the LF tag options. There are many more to Lake Formation. So stay tuned. I will get back to you on those videos. One for listening in. Please subscribe my channel for the new videos. Stay tuned. Bye.